Cigarette addiction. I want to tell you all a little story that I've often told before. And there's a message in this story that I hope no one ever will forget. It's about me, a man who has smoked a pack of cigarettes a day for 50 years or more. And it's about how I became totally addicted to smoking after smoking just one single cigarette. Back then I did a lot of things that weren't very wise. After all, I was just a kid, and I was trying to be tough. One day I was offered a cigarette by a bunch of older guys who told me to light it up and smoke it, which I did. And I became addicted, because from that day on, one cigarette would never be enough. Later on, I went down to my local corner store, and I bought myself a pack. And I guess that's when my smoking addiction really first began. For on the way home I smoked at least another 3 or 4, and from that day on there would be no turning back, because back then I didn't know that smoking could be as addictive as it can. When I think of all the cigarettes that I've ever lit, and all the tar and nicotine that my old body has inhaled, and all the countless number of times that I promised myself that this time I would definitely quit, and all the times that I have very dismally failed. I think of all the times I've lit up a cigarette as soon as I awoke, even before I was washed or dressed. I'm so addicted to smoking that if I don't get my morning smoke, I become angry and depressed. I light up a cigarette at least 20 times a day, and I'll place it lovingly between my lips. This nicotine craving never ever goes away. I'll smoke store-bought brand roll-ups, any kind of brand, either with or without filter tips. And even though I know that every time I take a puff, there's a chance that lung cancer I could very easily get. But having been a smoker for over 50 years or more, quitting smoking can be very, very tough. And because of lack of willpower, so far, I haven't done it yet. I smoke any kind of cigarette, no matter what the brand. It doesn't matter what kind of cigarette I smoke. Because my addiction to smoking has gotten so far out of hand that it's gone far beyond a joke. There is a lesson in this story that I've told to you today, and I've made this lesson as simple as it gets. If you're about to light up a cigarette right now, do yourself a favour, throw that cigarette away. For if you don't, you could become addicted just like me, and you could spend the next 50 years or so smoking those dirty, filthy cigarettes. Please don't do it. I beg you, please don't do it.